Yeah, hello. Once again. Yeah, we have a laptop today here, and it's 830G6. I'm going to plug in the charger. Taking 116 milliamps. When try to press the power button, nothing is happening. Yeah, so you have to open this one. Yeah, remove the battery. So yeah, I'm trying to see what could be the issue with this one. Let me try to take some voltages and see what could be the issue with this one. Yeah, we have something there. We have the 18, so we don't have the 3 volts, the 5 volts. Wow, the rest of the laptop is completely dead. It's nothing, eh? So it could be the issue. You see here, nothing. Wow, nothing. Power button. Yeah, power button, nothing actually. That's why we didn't get any value after we pressed the power button, eh? So you understand? Sorry. Not even on the screen connector. Yeah, I think we had 19 volts, so it's most probably we have 19 volts on the screen connector. Let me see. Nothing. Oh, nothing. Wow. Nothing on the whole connector. Let me check this other side. Nothing also on this other side. Wow, we must have a damaged chip here. A chip must have been damaged. Let's go under the microscope. Yeah, under the microscope. Yeah, that's a clear. And why are we having this on the screen connector? What are these? Do you want to mean that we had some liquid damage on this laptop before? What is that? So let's go through under physical inspection, and we see, yeah, I need a barrel lens because I need to have a wider view on the motherboard, especially when wow, we are not even going to go far, and we already have this one here. Wow. Wow. Now, what took place here? So we are going to remove this chip first, eh? And you know what is our biggest hope here? Our biggest hope is that the power lines have not been destroyed, eh, or distracted. Because if they are distracted, that means I've tried looping of this chip before, and the looping is not always something nice. It's not a walk in the park, eh? So, wow. So let's see whether we are going to grab. And usually when these chips have been burnt like this, they are very problematic to desolder using a hot air. So let's hope this one is going to. And now the other question is that, has this power surge reached the processor? Because yeah, you cannot force issues here. you have to be very, very gentle with this part here. Wow. So one part is out. Wow, and you can see one part is still attached, eh? Wow. Let me see. I think I touched some coil here, this one. Oh, check this area. This is exactly what I was trying to avoid, eh? Oh, this is what I was hoping it didn't happen on this particular part here. See, this power line is out and this power line is out, eh? And this is the, you see, okay. Before you even bother too much, eh? How is the processor? Because we might even bother too much and the processor is already dead, because if that voltage reached places that were not supposed, okay, what is that dead shot I'm getting? Wow, what's the shot? Are you telling me the processor is completely dead? This is not good. So let me open the processor. Yeah, let me come out of the microscope mode. Yeah, so when we remove this processor and try to see how the power lines are moving, eh? You can see this one is going to right into the processor inside, eh? See, so before you even bother to fight so much with such a laptop, it's important you try to take some 0.02. That is very low. That is very low. And maybe to that processor is gone, eh? So let me see. Yeah, so after checking the processor and confirming that is a shorted processor, this is a no fix and there's nothing we can do on this motherboard. We just have to get a new motherboard for this client, and there's nothing we can do. So let me just zoom out some. So I want to talk something about this kind of motherboards and the chips that are involved in a motherboard, because I get this so many times in my shop here. Remember, I work for other computer shops, and people who have computer shops, and maybe they have brought in the laptops, and some of them they feel like maybe iSamfix should check on those laptops before I take it back, because I don't have maybe enough knowledge on that. I have seen people coming with chips, holding chips with their hands and telling me, hey, these are the chips I've removed of this laptop, but I've tried to work on it and it's not working. And the other question that I rush to ask that kind of a person or that kind of a technician is, have you inserted a charger on the motherboard without these chips. Yeah, and he tells me, yeah, I don't think anything can happen because the chips are not there to receive the power and whatever. And so today I want to make something clear. Some of these chips regulate the voltages and how the voltages should be distributed in the motherboard. For instance, like the power management IC. How do you remove a power management IC and insert a charger without the power management IC? You have killed that motherboard. And this is the situation here. When the chip is dead, when the chip like this one has been struck by voltage and is out, now the power is not being managed anymore. In some chips, I'm not saying in all of them. And what happens is that power goes around the motherboard the way it freely. Even in areas where it's not supposed to be, the voltage still goes because the power management IC that is supposed to manage that voltage is not there, is out. So I sometimes when you see me saying a laptop came to me and I was not comfortable repairing that laptop because after looking at the laptop, I can easily tell this laptop is from another computer shop. That is why I feel so bad, or I don't like working on computers that have been worked by technicians before, because you don't get to know the technician who was working on that laptop, the level of expertise they had. Do they even know that you cannot remove some chips from the motherboard and insert in a charger? You understand what I'm saying? Eh? You cannot remove some chips from the laptop and insert a charger that is having a voltage. Your processor is going to be dead, or other parts, regions of lower voltage will get higher voltage, and chips in that area are going to be affected by higher voltages. And regions of, like the processor is the region that takes the least voltage in a laptop's motherboard. Processor almost not a, it's not even a voltage, it's a 0 point something of a volt. Suppose now 19 volts come to this processor and it's only supposed to receive 0.8 or 0.9 voltage, or maximum of 1 voltage on this machine. What happens? The processor is gone and the processor is dead, and there's nothing you can do about that. So this is the situation that has, because the chip, when this chip was struck by the voltage and it was out, this chip was supposed to manage some voltages here, and now since the chip is not there, voltages is free to go to whatever side of the motherboard it feels like going, and that's how we end up having a dead motherboard that is not repairable. This processor here, I'm not able to change it. If you have a technology on how you can change this processor and put another one, please let us know. We need to know that. And the only way sometimes I think is to take this motherboard back to China and maybe they can redo the work and bring it to you. And what is the cost involved there? You'd rather just get another motherboard. There's no need of doing even that. So nothing we can do. And I think this laptop has also helped us to know the condition. You cannot remove chips on laptop. The other problem, maybe I also should touch on this one before I end this video. We have people who come, you see a certain chip on the motherboard, a laptop is brought you to by a customer on your shop, and you see a certain chip is maybe not very good, a liquid damage happened on that chip, and maybe you see that I need to change this chip and so that laptop can work. Some people don't take time to get it right. The only time you can guess is when you have two identical motherboards. You have two identical motherboards that you can pick from this one, knowing that it's the same identical motherboard. So what this chip is supposed to do on this motherboard, it is the exact function that chip on the other have on the other motherboard. You cannot take motherboards that are not same models and you start transferring chips from that motherboard to this motherboard. You will have a chip that regulates the voltages differently, totally differently from this motherboard. Take it to the other motherboard, and that's how you kill the whole motherboard, short the process, short everything else, because maybe this chip is receiving 19 volts and disseminating 19 volts on the other side, and yet the chip that is supposed to be there is taking in 19 volts and filtering or stepping down the voltage to something like 5 volts. So what have you done? The motherboard is dead. So if you really don't have knowledge on motherboards, on how to repair motherboards, you should really get somebody who has that expertise, and your chances of saving that motherboard are a bit higher than when you just go on guess mode, or maybe somebody who is just not sure what they are doing. If you're not sure, ask somebody. You'd rather even consult somebody and do that part instead of just having the whole motherboard dead, a motherboard that would have worked if the right hands touched the motherboard, or if the motherboard failed on the right hands. but now it's dead because it failed on the wrong hands. We are not saying they are proper hands in, but at least try to get somebody who is a bit knowledgeable. Also, me, I keep consulting. Yeah, I consult so many a times because there's an issue that I feel here I'm not confident enough. How can I go about it? Sometimes I'll go do some consulting to some places and try and most of the time I get clarity. And when I come to approach that issue, is to I go on and try to correct that motherboard and put it the way it's supposed to be. Remember, our objective is to improve situations. You receive a worse situation and bring it to a better situation. It's not to receive a situation on this level and now you damage it to this level. Not to receive good motherboards and now you make them worse. It's to you have brought motherboards that are a bit worse and try to improve them and bring them to a certain level. If possible, let them function and let you help the customer and go back to use the other proper as they were using it before. And that's when you get paid, because the essence here is to get paid. So that's it for today. Yeah, thank you. Let's meet in the next. Bye.